That's better than everyone else out here. Hey everyone, Larry Chen here. We're at Holly LS Fest, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're featuring something just so off the wall, something so crazy. This is a Corvair. What's left of it, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah? First of all, introduce yourself.
My name is Wayne Dick. I'm from Alberta, Canada.
Wayne, what did you do? What is this?
So I bought this a few years ago, and we got it running and driving under its original drivetrain, basically for inspection purposes. And I didn't even make it out of my driveway and realized this ain't gonna cut it. So we pulled it back in the shop, and 3 hours later had it totally gutted. And then we did this.
I don't even know where to start. This is so crazy, but my favorite thing is Wayne's like, hey, I'm glad you guys like it. Why wouldn't we like it? We love these kind of builds. You know, this is just something special, something different. You know, you did it for yourself. But with that said, you left all the patina on it. What's the story of it? Did you find this?
So a number of years ago, I was living in Idaho, and I saw this at a wrecking yard in Idaho Falls. They wanted $700 for it, with no title. I was a student at the time. I couldn't afford it. And then, I don't know, a year later, I went by there and there was a crusher there and everything was gone. So I thought it was like gone forever. And then moved back to Canada, and there was a Facebook group for Idaho buy and sell for men or whatever. And this came up on it, and I knew it was the same one. So I called my buddy Cody over there from Idaho. I was like, dude, you got to go get this thing. So I wired him the money, and he picked it up, brought it up to me to Canada, and then we just kind of have gone from there.
$700.
$700. I was living on $1,000 a month at the time.
Okay, so with that said, are there any Corvairs in Canada?
So there's a few. In fact, there's a Corvair like this. It's the load side. It doesn't have the bed side that folds down. Maybe 60 miles from where I live. And then I've got a van that matches this. But other than that, I don't know of any other in Alberta. I don't know, you know, I'm sure there is across Canada somewhere, but you just don't see them. They didn't come to Canada because of the air cooled and the heating. They weren't a good fit for that climate up there.
So you've had this for a while before you started.
I've had this for 7 years now, maybe almost 8.
What year is this Corvair?
It's a 1962. They call it a Corvair 95, and this model is called the Rampside because of that bedside folding down. They designed that for like your appliance repairmen, so they could get washer and dryers and fridges on a hand truck in and out of the back.
So not running, driving at all. It was just a rolling chassis?
It had an engine in it, but it was half apart, full of dirt. And so, yeah, it was basically just a rolling chassis, and I paid, I think, $2,800 for it at the time.
I don't even need to ask you to pop the hood because there's no hood to pop. But what are we looking at here?
So this is a crate engine from Davis GMC in Lethbridge. It is a 6.2 LS3. It's got a Brian Tooley Stage 3 cam in it, push rods and springs. These headers are custom fabbed by my buddy Lloyd at LT Industries in Lethbridge. The whole exhaust is actually, and the frame, everything was done by him. So we pulled this into his shop once we stripped all the original stuff out of it, and probably spent 3 weeks just trying to wrap our head around what we're gonna do. Because I'd already bought the Corvette suspension and everything, so it was just a matter of how are we gonna fit this underneath it.
How did you even, so you bought it, you bought all this stuff without even knowing if it would.
Yeah, absolutely. So I talked to another friend of mine, Bill Landry, and he was like, you got to look up Dauberton Performance because they make these brackets here. So all these cast aluminum brackets underneath these plates are by Dauberton Performance, and it allows you to put Corvette suspension under any custom 2x4 frame chassis, right? So I bought that. I went online and from, I think it was Carroll's Corvette, their Corvette wrecking yard. I bought the suspension, bought the differential and the transmission, had everything shipped there, and then just took all these parts to my buddy and I said, we gotta fit this somehow into here. And I want it on air ride.
There's just so many questions that I have right now. I don't even know where to start. So first of all, it is rear radiator cooling.
Yeah.
Typically the engine would sit.
Yeah, typally the engine is right there. So if you look on the side, That's the air intake for the original engine, which also has my air filter there now.
Got it.
And these panels were the air channels, and then it drew the air in through these, and there was a fan that was on top of those that pushed the air down and out the back.
And now you just have a huge
And now it's just a huge radiator.
Yeah.
We had that custom built by Don's Radiators in Lethbridge. And we basically did some road testing with it with a hockey stick across here and some surveyor's tape to see which way the air was flowing best. And I mean, this is kind of where we figured it out.
Yeah, that's why you have like
That's why we have a
shield.
custom Lowe's. That is a flower pot from Lowe's, available to anyone. Yeah, we had it's a Delta Pag or Page, I don't know how you say that, cooling fan under there, and its shroud wasn't big enough. Because once I got to about 60 miles an hour, the air wasn't flowing and I was getting hot. So we just had to make that shroud a little longer so that it could carry that air out the back.
Well, so this is also something special too, because the Corvette, it's not like this. There's a torque tube.
Yeah.
Right? So what did you have to do to make this? This is the shortest it's ever been.
It is, yeah. So this is the 4L65 out of a 2002 C5 Corvette, but it has an LT style output shaft in it, which eliminates the torque tube bell housing, which is typically only that wide. And then you can use a Camaro bell housing on it and Camaro torque converter. And then you just eliminate that torque tube and bolt it up. There was a lot of time spent online asking questions.
What other car could this work in for it being this short? It's the funniest thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's like it was made for this. Now that it's in this, I mean, it just seems like that's at home.
It's funny because of this space. There's just so much room here.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's hilarious. So what's in here?
So that's got the computer and battery in there. And I mean, true to form, old piece of plywood, and then you just lift this out of the way and there's the battery.
No way. I love it. I love that it's hidden in that.
Yeah.
You could have made a box. You could have done whatever.
I found this cooler about 5 years ago, just online, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna use it for, but I gotta have it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even until we tried to put the battery in its original location here. And it wasn't until we decided we can't make this work that I was like, I've got a cooler that we can put the battery and computer in, and that's what we went with.
Amazing. And then, so all of this, you guys.
That's chromoly. We just did that in the last week and a half at LT Industries, and I'll tell you what, man, I've never seen a cage welded up before, and I would not want that job. You have to contort and stand on your head. And I mean, my buddy Lloyd, like I say, he made it happen.
Because if you didn't have this, I feel like if you floored it with this power,
no,
it
actually,
would kind of move.
The original frame on here is, I don't know what steel they used. This is the original unibody construction, but it's super heavy, and there's a huge bulkhead right underneath this where the front and rear subframes meet. Like, it took 3 hole saws to make a hole through that frame. I don't know what steel it is, but it's incredibly strong.
And then this is on air, the whole.
Yeah, that's on air.
On air.
Yeah, it's AccuAir system, and then we've got AirX struts all the way around.
And you repurposed like an old.
No, that's a brand new tank.
That's a new
I just
one. You
painted it and distressed it. This tailgate was actually green when I bought this, so I did the same thing to the tailgate.
So you did all of this.
I did all of that, yeah.
It matches really nice.
You know what we did was we took a sample right from here. You can see how that's a little more orange, and that's why this is not quite the match. I mean, it's close enough for what it is. It's good enough.
What else did you do to the body?
I've done nothing to the body. Like, everything you see is the way it was. We did kind of shine this up a little bit, but I mean, as far as the patina, everything is the way it was.
I just couldn't even imagine what the stories or like what happened with all, like, what made this mark and what made this mark.
There's so many.
There's just so many.
So many.
But it's cool. It's become part of this truck.
Yeah.
So like, what about this?
So all this, you can see I put not me. All this bodywork, this is how I got it. So the previous owner, I don't know if it was him or the guy before him, whoever got it from the wrecking yard, had cut some rust out and tried to replace this panel and just completely destroyed it. However, it does make it kind of a feature that's, you know, it's a conversation piece. You know, I mean, we drilled through a 1/8-inch Bondo to get the exhaust dump out there, and we do have rust-free panels to repair it, but I almost want to rust this side the same just so it doesn't look like it. I just like to clean up the welds because underneath it is horrendous what they did.
This is all just the way it came?
This is the way it came. I'm not sure, there was a chrome piece here and I don't know if they had it to try and do a windshield washer or something, but it's not even centered, you know, like it is horribly off center.
Right.
The chrome bumper that was on it was so beat and twisted that I stole the bumper off my van and just distressed it to try and make it fit. And yeah, this is the way it was.
I love all the little touches like the license plate.
Yeah, so when I had these mirrors sandblasted, this backing plate basically disappeared. So I had this plate on my van that I've got, and I was like, what would a farmer do back in the day? And that's exactly what he'd do. He'd make use of what he had, right? So
I love the wheels, the wheel choices, and brakes. This is something else too, huh?
Yeah, so the wheels, I looked online for a wheel company where I could choose the offset because we wanted this thing to ride so low. You know, we had to do tubs on the front here too, right? So we've done tubs there. We had to tub the doors so that we could close them. And that being said, I couldn't find a wheel that fit under this thing. Not even a stock Corvette wheel would fit. So I hit up Weld's website and they could do what I needed.
So then the rear suspension is all Corvette. What about the front?
The front is Corvette as well. Yeah. So we've got a subframe that's welded up. In fact, you can see the roll bar ties into it here, right here. So that subframe is what the Corvette suspension ties to. And that piece actually comes right through. You can see where it's welded into the unibody there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then you're routing electrical.
Yeah, we got all kinds of things. There's not a lot of room under that suspension because we also, like, the gas tank is right between here. It's in the original location. And so we stretched the floor up and made it about a 20-gallon gas tank. So the idea of this build was to drive it.
Yeah, no, I see that. And so not only did you bring it all the way down to LS Fest in Las Vegas, you're taking it on the autocross, you're taking it on the road course.
Yeah, so I've never really done much driving. The only thing I've done is burnouts in this thing and donuts since we got it running. So that why not see how it handles the autocross course? I mean, it's too small of a tire up front. It's pushing around the corners, but you know what? I'm grinning ear to ear and just giggling the whole time.
It's crazy. You're sitting right on top of the tire.
Literally sitting on top of that
It's got to
tire.
feel even more extra understeering because you're so far forward.
It's a wild sensation. When you do donuts in this thing, it is violence. Because if it kicks you backwards, like if the G-force kicks you backwards, it about put me through the windshield before we put seatbelts in this thing because it is so violent. But
incredible.
You know, if you use a little brake, you can actually control it, and I'm getting better with it, getting better.
But so this stuff also.
That was also
holes,
cut out.
This is just the way it was.
The way it was. I haven't touched it yet. Again, we've got a rust-free panel to replace that.
This is the coolest thing, but this opens, and the view from the side here, can you open this?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a view that I've never seen before.
So it takes a little.
And this
you can hear the dirt running back.
Yeah, this was well used
absolutely
as a truck. But the view from down here is hilarious.
So we couldn't find headers that worked for this application unless I wanted to run them upside down like a boat header, which for daily driving would be just too obnoxious. So again, my buddy Lloyd, 32-inch long tubes, matched them all up, even made that collector curve like that. Like everything about those headers is just incredible.
This is a work of art. Just so crazy. So like when you guys were mounting the engine, what made you want to mount it right here?
It basically was dictated by the differential and transmission. That's In fact, we had one of the cross members we had in there, we had to section out the top, flip it around and weld that in so it cleared the oil pan.
I mean, because that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
But there's just so much room here. You could almost put it up to the firewall.
Yeah.
Whatever,
you could do anything, but then you'd have to put a torque tube back in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This was the whole point.
Yeah. This was the whole point.
Super neat.
Yeah.
And it's just one thing. How cool is that? I love it. There's just so many questions. First of all, this is pretty cool. So this is just ease of use getting in and
just
out.
to ease getting in and out.
And because it is, I mean, I guess it wouldn't really be structural. It's more safety.
It's safety, you know, like my knees are behind the headlights on this thing when I'm driving it. There is no crumple zone. Like, so as much safety as we could add, I didn't think there was enough room for a full cage in here. So we went with the roll bar, and you know what? It doesn't interfere. We actually, when we did this big back window conversion, this inner piece here, which we're not done yet, is from Classic Industries. They have it for the 60 to 66 Chevy trucks, and we just shrunk it and made it fit in here.
Because this wasn't a window at all.
It was just the small, like you know how the Chevys had the smaller back window? That's what it was. It was just that standard, but it was stamped in the tin like the full-size trucks that had the option of the deluxe cab, but there is no Corvair that came with a big back window.
Got it. And then this obviously is custom.
This is actually, I cannot believe. So this was my buddy Colin. He's got New Image upholstery in Lethbridge. I took him literally 2 pieces of plywood, and he came up with this. And it is like, you should sit in it. It's actually really comfortable. And the double diamond stitching, like, it's out of this world, man. I absolutely love it.
Well, because this was originally meant for 3 people.
Yeah.
Because the original one obviously didn't have this tub.
No.
You would sit on top of it.
Yeah, the seat actually came right to the door here. It was a bench seat, so you could fit 3 people. We had to make these tubs because we wanted to sit so low. And the steering wheel, we actually had to move 4.5 inches inbound as well. You can see where in the rubber the original hole was.
This is such a neat feature too.
Yeah, these connecting rods. So again, the master fabricator behind this whole thing, I was on his funny car pit crew like 20 years ago, and these rods are out of his car.
I've never seen anything like this.
He made these bearings to fit this column.
No way.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
I love this. This is what I love about car culture and just hot rods and modifying cars. I can't tell you how many cars I've shot.
Yeah.
Thousands of cars over 17 years. Never seen anything like that.
Awesome.
That is so cool.
Awesome.
I love that.
That's kind of the point of this whole thing, was you don't see these, you definitely don't see them done up the way this is done up. And then when you get into the brass tacks of it and it's on C5 suspension, like, I don't know, we just kind of went ridiculous on every aspect, and I don't regret one thing.
All right, so I'm gonna get in here. We can take it for a ride too.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
On the street. Okay. Couple more things I wanted to ask you about. So this is how you shift?
Yeah, that's powertrain control solutions, just a push button gear shifter.
Right, because there would be no way to get the Corvette stuff in here, and it looks...
Well, I didn't want to call them shift because I'm a fairly tall guy, and I didn't want that interfering with my leg. I didn't want a floor shifter because that would interfere with, you know...
This is the cool part
yeah,
about this.
it's wide open. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And then this pedal, is this actually the Corvette one?
No, well, we just bought a pedal assembly from GM.
So crazy. It's insane that you got all this stuff to work. I love it. And then you have the perfect place for the
that's the ashtray, but we just put the controller on it.
Amazing. Stock dash.
Yeah. Made this surround around, these are Dakota digital gauges, and just made this surround to try and mimic the glove box over there.
So because you moved everything over,
yeah,
the gauges are a little bit to the left.
The gauges are a little bit to the left, but when I'm driving, the speedometer is right where I need to see it anyway, so.
Amazing. I don't even know what to say. I mean, there's just it is so cool. And you know what? You're right. These seats are pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
really
in the
nice.
leg room, surprising, right?
There's so much leg room in here. Amazing. And was this original?
That's
too?
yeah. I have not touched that.
That looks like it's about to fall.
No,
if I touched it,
No,
for one-
you can work it. I mean, it's a little bit sketchy, but we're all good.
Amazing. So what's next for this then?
We're gonna replace the rust with some original steel, some rust-free panels, but it's not gonna change the look. We're gonna keep it ratty, keep it patina, and just drive the shit out of this thing. I don't know. Sorry, should I not say that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think you're gonna take it to the burnout box this weekend?
You know what? I probably will. I did put it as the option,
Yeah.
but it would kind of be a shame to leave here with rubber on the tires.
Right. So with that said, you have my number. If you do decide to go to the burnout box, you have to call us to make sure we're there.
Absolutely.
To get some shots of you just absolutely shredding in this thing.
And it does shred. It's awesome.
I just did this. I just looked back, and the fact that you can see the engine. I mean, can you see it move when you
No,
turn around?
it's pretty solid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
All right. So can we take it for a ride?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. Let me get some GoPros on this thing, and then we'll take it for a ride.
Absolutely.
What was your thought on this?
This is a square body Chevy grill guard, like the tube grill you could buy back in the day. That's that, just narrowed, just repurposed, man.
It's cool because, I mean, it is functional.
Yeah.
It's probably good to protect.
Yeah, protects the radiator, and we found all but one of the little black end caps, man.
So cool. The exhaust is insane. So it does do a cross and then it exits on
Yeah,
this
so there's two Flowmaster 40s underneath here that actually sound incredible. And then I've got my exhaust dumps right there. There's a wide pipe there.
So it goes here, then comes all the way back.
No, right here. You can see the pipe go out the side there.
Uh-huh.
And this one, so this one coming forward does the X here.
Yeah.
But there's one that dumps right there. If you look at the collector there.
Is that a switch or something?
Yeah, that's just on a switch.
Oh.
So you can look right here. You can see where it actually splits, see?
Oh, okay, all right. So there's leaving your neighborhood mode.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then also party mode.
Party, yeah.
Huh. There you go. So cool. Okay.
Just pull it hard, slam it, yeah.
There you go. Not gonna break it. I think it's something else. So it's a 4-speed?
Yeah, but it's still the stock 273 Corvette gearing in the back. And even at like 80, 90 miles an hour, it's still hunting for overdrive. So I just dump it into third and then it's actually drivable and not trying to find itself.
So it's the stock C5 diff too then?
Yeah, yeah.
Very fitting steering wheel too.
Yeah, so I found that online and I saw him post it. I gotta have that.
What an interesting view. Like, I look back but you're not kidding. You're
right here.
Yeah.
We're the first on the scene of an accident.
Right. The other side of my feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Volkswagen bus,
Yeah.
right? Because the headlight bucket's right there, where my foot is.
Just above that, yeah.
Amazing. It rides really nice.
It's a little choppy, but overall, I'm super happy with how it handles.
Wow.
Like you can't help but giggle, right?
That is hilarious. I feel like you need to try to fit a bigger tire back there.
I do. I definitely do. Yeah.
Oh my god. That is so cool. I am so blown away.
Think they care if we just roast them right here?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think
they care.
Oh my God. You're gonna have to really feather. If you take this to this versus that, you're gonna have to feather this thing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because there's just not much weight back there.
No, I mean, it's 50-50 before we put the cage in. It is a chromoly cage. I don't know how much it weighs actually now. But these tires are the Firestone 500s. I've had them on before and just burned them off because I couldn't get traction. The Toyo R888s actually hooked up really well, but Toyo quit making them.
Really?
Yeah.
In this size?
Yeah, in this size. Yeah. Yeah, I tried. I searched all over North America trying to find a set for here. Couldn't find a set, so then we put some Nittos on them. They didn't pass tech because they're only 100 tread rating, right? So then I found a place in town here, got some tires on at least so we could be here. But yeah, the Firestones are a little greasy.
Jeez. It's such a weird thing too, because you're so over the front, like we're a lot of our body is up in front of the front.
Is in
tires.
front of the
when you're correcting.
Yeah, it's all back.
It's got to be such
it's
a
all
weird
behind
feeling.
you. Yeah. But it wants to go straight. I don't know if you noticed that. Like even when we were roasting them, it wants to go straight, which for a 95-inch wheelbase is crazy.
So then, just if you think about it,
are we going to continue?
No, we can go back in. If you think about it, the stock power plant, how much do you think that put down power-wise? Like 60 horsepower, 70 horsepower?
I believe they were 80 horsepower out of the box, so by the time you got to the rear wheels, not a whole lot.
So then, how much more power are you
I would say we're a true 400 horse to the rear wheels overstock.
Overstock?
Yeah, because it would have been about 60 horse to the rear wheels originally.
Probably 9 times the horsepower that this chassis originally had.
And then 580 foot-pounds of torque. I have no idea what the original torque was, but it wouldn't have been much.
So 460 to the wheels.
Yeah.
580 foot-pounds of torque. Jeez. That is...
And that's at our elevation, too.
Yeah.
So it'd actually be interesting to see what it does.
It's probably a little faster.
Maybe a little
quicker. That is so cool. This is one of the things, if you guys watch my channel a lot, you guys know I always like to talk about this. This is a prime example of a pedestrian car that was never meant to look good or perform well.
That's exactly right.
But you've done both. You've made it perform well with the aesthetics in mind, kind of maybe in the back burner.
Yeah.
But it's become both. It has both now. It looks amazing. It looks crazy, but it also performs insane.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I can't thank those that were involved with this enough. Like every time I get in this thing, it makes me smile, and that's exactly why we built it.
So cool.
To think about the amount of hours that my buddy put into fabricating this chassis, and it actually coming out of the box and working. We've done 0 adjustments to the suspension. What you've seen right now is literally how it came out of the box, out of my buddy's shop.
Incredible. I love that. So good. So was that with the cutouts open?
Yeah, that was open.
I mean, it's loud and obnoxious, but not. It's loud and obnoxious, but not too much.
Not too much.
You know, it's not like ear-piercingly loud. Like I don't have to have earplugs in. It's loud enough where it's rowdy.
Yeah.
And it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too bad. Love it, love it. Thank you so much for bringing this down. Thank you for showing this to us. Yeah, cool guy. I really do hope you bring this to this versus that.
Absolutely.
One time, because this is something that's just out of the ordinary. You know, you just don't see anything like this.
Yeah.
So this racing against something would be anything else would be so cool to see.
I'd be all over that.
Yeah,
100%.
awesome. Thank you guys for watching. We have a lot more features here at Holly Ellis Fest, so see you guys in the next
How's it
episode.
going?